Ancient wonders ashore, luxury at sea. Just wait till you see what's hiding beneath Istanbul. This is Crystal Symphony, from Michelin star dining to baklava heaven and tales so legendary they are literally biblical. Stay tuned, because this isn't your average cruise vlog. It's a VIP front row seat to one of the most elegant ships in the world, in one of the most ancient storied locations in the world. Is this the best Eastern Med cruise you can experience? Is this the most luxurious ship to take you there? Welcome aboard Crystal Symphony, one of the world's most elegant luxury cruise ships, freshly reimagined and ready to dazzle. On this journey, we'll sail through Greece and Turkey, from the mayhem of Piraeus to the magnificence of Istanbul. The crowds of Santorini, the crowds. As you can see, it's a quaint little fishing village. To the labyrinthine alleys of Rhodes. We pull no punches in this vlog.
I wish they had told us that.
No.
Greece in August, hot and hectic. But it's not just about the destinations. This is Crystal at its best. The legendary Umi Umar by Nobu, the decadent Beefbar, afternoon tea in Palm Court, and crew who somehow know what drink you want before you've even thought of it. We're going to show you jaw-dropping moments, from sailing the Dardanelles under the world's longest suspension bridge to uncovering the secrets of Santorini's very own Pompeii. Expect fine dining, unbiased reviews, and an honest look at what makes this ship and experience so special. If you love luxury travel, cruising, and a touch of dry humour...
Fancy calling yourself the Magnificent?
Well, why not?
I think I'll try that.
You're in the right place. Let's go. Piraeus. Athens' gateway to the sea, and quite possibly the only port where you can simultaneously feel like you're boarding a cruise ship and escaping from a hostage situation. The signage is a marvel of modern mystery, gate numbers that appear to have been assigned by pulling tiles from a Scrabble bag. Add to that the endless procession of hulking ferries, belching out clouds of exhaust like chain-smoking dragons. Oh, and have I mentioned the crowds? Imagine the start of a music festival, the end of a football match, and a Black Friday sale, all taking place in the same square metre. You'll find yourself playing a high-stakes game of Where's Wally, except Wally is your ship. In short, Piraeus is a place where dreams of Aegean glamour go to be mugged by reality. But, like every good port city, it's only truly terrible until the moment you sail away. Then suddenly it's full of local charm, rustically authentic, and worth experiencing. Amidst all that dockside chaos, there gleamed a diamond in the rough, or rather, a crystal. And there she was, Crystal Symphony, thoughtfully positioned beside the port's only patch of greenery, as if she'd been placed there so we could get that perfect Instagram shot. She would be our home for the next 11 nights, a ship so elegant she looked slightly baffled to find herself here, but destined to slip seamlessly into her natural habitat, the storybook islands of Greece. Embarkation was so painless we were on board, poolside and drinking champagne before most people had found out where Cruise Terminal A was. By noon the fizz was gone, so we did the sensible thing, a gentle wander around the sun decks and a nosy peek into the spa, killing time until Beefbar swung open at 1. Naturally, we began with a drink at the Beefbar. Bar. Yes, we named it twice, because I don't think it's got an official name. It is a bar, so it must be the Beefbar bar, surely. Then we headed into lunch, where our lovely waitress steered us through the highlights of the menu. Now, this particular dining venue is a masterstroke. If you know your restaurants, you'll know this is a big deal. Born in Monaco and now with outposts in the world's most glamorous cities, from Paris to Hong Kong, Beefbar is a byword for steakhouse cool. The collaboration is brilliant because it's not just about steak. The menu is divided into 3 parts. Incredible street food style starters inspired by their global locations, the main event featuring the finest cuts of beef in the world, including certified Kobe, and delicious mains for those who don't fancy steak. The fact that this is included in the fare, rather than being an extra charge specialty venue, is an astonishing value proposition and a huge statement of intent from Crystal's new owners. And, subject to them squeezing you in, you can come as many times in your cruise as you want, lunch and dinner. Everything was delicious, though the quesadillas deserve a standing ovation. Our suite was nearly ready, so we popped in, dropped bags, and admired its charms before more exploring. By 3 o'clock we were unpacked, settled, and already feeling dangerously at home. Hello and welcome aboard Crystal Symphony. We're here to answer a question that's been on our lips ever since Crystal came back from the dead by the fair hand of Abercrombie and Kent in 2023. Well, the question is, are they as spectacular as everyone says they are? Well, we're here for the next 11 nights to thoroughly answer that question.
Now, Crystal Symphony isn't just about where she goes, it's about how she gets you there. She's been beautifully refurbished with elegant lounges, fine dining and service that manages to be both perfectly polished and genuinely warm. So, settle in, subscribe if you haven't already, and join us as we explore Greece and Turkey in style, one historic port, one delicious plate, and one sun-drenched sea view at a time.
And just remember, this is Greece and Turkey in August.
It's going to be hot.
It's going to be hot,
it
hot,
already
hot.
is.
Do you know what we need?
Some champagne.
Cooling champagne. Cheers, honey.
Let's go.
Let's go. Muster drill came at 5:30 on the promenade deck. Regulations wait for no one, and nor it seems do clouds. For there were none, so what should have been a brisk safety briefing quickly turned into a 20-minute slow roast. Then it was off to Crystal Cove for a pre-dinner drink, accompanied by a pianist playing a see-through piano. It's not invisible exactly. The bar's strategic location makes it a default rendezvous point. It's the perfect spot for simply sitting with a drink and watching the world, or at least this small, luxurious part of it, go by. Crystal Cove is nestled comfortably inside Crystal Plaza, the ship's gleaming two-deck atrium designed to make you say, ooh, the moment you step aboard. There's a cascading waterfall feature that provides a soothing tinkle, but if you're watching this after November 2025, it's no longer there, and a golden statue of some ballet dancers mid-throw, post-November existence to be confirmed. Here you'll also find guest services, a marble counter of calm efficiency where no query is too small, from "What time is the comedian on tonight?" to "I seem to have misplaced Helen." But hold on one moment, let's focus on that ceiling. That spectacular sprawling canopy of glass is indeed an original feature, a survivor from her maiden voyage in 1995. Its inspiration is a delightful cocktail of classic influences. You're meant to feel the grandeur of an Art Deco ocean liner's ballroom, mixed with the light-filled winter garden of a classic 1920s Grand Hotel. Well, enough of my inane waffle, because soon it was dinner. And our first dinner was in Waterside, what we would lazily call the ship's main dining room. The menu changes daily, and tonight we both began with the Wagyu beef crudo, followed by lemon sole for Helen, and I chose the veal prime rib, before finishing with apple tart. Delicious. The evening closed with a welcome theatre show, a polished mix of singers, dancers, a pro-dance couple, a guest violinist, and the ship's own 7-piece jazz orchestra. Cruise director Vicky presided with her trademark blend of humour and mischief, sending the audience off grinning at the end of a lively 45 minutes. A fine finale to our first day. But, back in our suite, we discovered a little surprise.
Oh, chocolates.
Open it up. Open and see.
Throw out your voice though, so you're only getting one of them.
Oh, yeah.
Basically, they're saying this has got to last you, babe. Okay.
Oh, babe.
I mean, it's nice, but you've got like 9 there, and we're on for 11 nights.
Oh, my goodness, look at that.
So that has got to last you.
No!
But that is pretty lovely.
That is lovely, isn't it? After the kind of sleep that suggests the mattress had been woven by angels, we sauntered to Marketplace for breakfast. The weather was glorious, too glorious not to sit outside, so we lingered there, grazing our way through plates of beautifully presented food and smoothies that changed daily, each one a new and sometimes surprising experiment in liquid fruit chemistry. The meal was so pleasant we were in danger of settling in for the day, but Hydra was waiting, so on to a tender we went, heading for this little Greek refuge where cars, buses and stress are politely told to stay away. We'd been here just last year with Sea Dream, and delightfully, it's still as charming as ever. We wandered the harbour, sidestepping donkeys, and eventually surrendered to the lure of the cafe chair, collapsing into it with iced drinks and the sort of leisurely conversation that only really works when the Aegean is shimmering obligingly in the background. Oh, there you go. Oh my goodness.
This is nice, isn't it?
What's going on here? That's
Sunday.
nice. It's Sunday. Isn't that lovely?
Yeah.
Oh, Helen,
Hydra. Or it's Hydra, actually, not
Hydra.
Hydra. Hydra is a mythical beast. Hydra is a Greek island. If you were to ask a donkey, which, let's be honest, is the most informed local you're likely to meet here, he would probably tell you that Hydra is a rather steep cobbled affair with an absurd number of steps and an equally baffling lack of motor vehicles.
And he'd be right.
Would he?
This is an island where the loudest traffic jam involves a stubborn mule refusing to carry a tourist suitcase on its back. The absence of cars, a blessed relief for anyone who's ever tried to navigate a Greek island in a rented Fiat Panda, which we have.
We've done that. Nightmare.
It means that the air is clean, the pace is gloriously unhurried, and the primary mode of transport for anything heavier than a plate of baklava is the aforementioned beast of burden.
True. It's the place that stubbornly resists the siren song of the 21st century, preferring instead to amble along at a pace that allows you to admire the 18th century stone mansions dripping with bougainvillea and question your reasoning that led you to a place with so many steps and heat. Because it's bloomin' hot.
It is always hot.
Oh my goodness.
Why do we always come here in August?
I don't
The
know.
hottest month of the year.
It's crazy.
Historically, Hydra hasn't always been this tranquil, though. This seemingly peaceful rock in the Saronic Gulf was once a maritime powerhouse, its fleet playing a rather punchy role in the Greek War of Independence. The Hydriots were so formidable on the waves that it was dubbed Little England.
Oh, Little England. Did you know, though, after its wartime heroics, the island settled into a more sedate existence, only to be rediscovered in the 1950s by a bohemian brigade, no less, of artists and writers. Chief among them was a young Canadian poet named Leonard Cohen, who brought a house for a song, a mere $1,500, price that would barely get you a souvenir phone case today. And believe me, we looked in the shops. And Cohen found his muse in the island's simple beauty, resident felines, and one assumes the excellent moussaka.
Oh, yeah. Beautiful Greek food around here. Today, Hydra is curiously and delightfully paradoxical. It's a cosmopolitan hangout for the art crowd with exhibitions in a former slaughterhouse.
Ugh, that's randomly art house, isn't it?
Yes, it remains authentically Greek. You can sip a cappuccino while staring at a billionaire on his yacht, while a priest on a donkey sedately trots by.
I'd love to see that.
Yeah, that is literally a priest. He's doing something out there, look.
Is
like
it
blessing
He's blessing a boat
or something.
That's fantastic. Also, the island is a designated architectural reserve, meaning its stunning good looks, a bit like you, darling, are legally protected from the ravages of modern development, a bit like you, honey.
I wish that was true for me. You mean there's no pound shops or neon shop signs?
Well, no, absolutely. And if you've been in some of the shops, there's nothing for a pound. So what you see is largely what you would have seen decades ago. So, what you need to do here is wander aimlessly through its labyrinthine valleys, befriend a cat or 5, and contemplate the deep questions of life, like whether you can justify another slice of baklava if you promise to take the long, steep way back to your tender points.
So shall we do that?
You bet. Let's go.
Let's go.
We landed back on board and made a beeline for the Trident Grill. Nothing says welcome home quite like a cheeseburger by the pool. Perfectly charred beef tucked into a soft brioche bun with a pile of sweet potato fries that are quite frankly worth the Trident Grill's existence on their own. Casual semi-alfresco dining at its most smugly satisfying. A lazy stretch on a sun lounger followed, and before we knew it, evening had sidled up, demanding we make ourselves look halfway respectable. While we changed, Jason, our remarkably attentive butler, appeared with his daily offering of canapes. And I put that in quotation marks because really, these were less tiny nibbles and more a stealth buffet in miniature. We opted this evening for Palm Court for pre-dinner, sneaking in just as the ship's duo sang their final notes. No matter, good as they were, the view was the real show tonight. Hydra slipped into the distance as we sipped cocktails, waiters orbiting the room with silver trays and even more bite-sized perfection, like some extremely polite carousel of edible temptation. Look at these mini burgers. They're, just delicious. Palm Court itself is a marvel, a sweeping glass-fronted lounge perched high on deck 11, filled with greenery, light, and a whiff of old-world glamour. By day it's hushed and bookish, and in the afternoon it transforms into the temple of afternoon tea. More on that later. Come evening, it's all about cocktails, conversation, live music, and sunsets so cinematic you'll be late for dinner as you're mesmerised until the end. Dinner took us back to waterside, and yet another outstanding menu, although we thought putting sea air accompanying the oysters was either literal or describing the foam. Either way, it made us chuckle. After all that, the siren call of our suite was overwhelming, as was that angel-woven mattress. Even the finest entertainment in the evenings, when weighed against the decadent comfort of that bed, well, there's no contest. We gave in gladly, ending the day exactly as it should, on yet another crystal high. Actually, that's not a phrase you should be using around airport Homeland Security staff, is it?
Our primary concern is always your safety, and after consulting and assessing the current state and the weather conditions, it's become clear that tendering will not be safe under these conditions. Unfortunately, due to adverse weather conditions, combined with the Red Sea, our call on Mykonos will be cancelled and we have a day at sea instead.
With the captain wisely deciding that docking in Mykonos would have been like trying to land a paper plane in a hurricane, and the pool attendants were already losing the battle with sun loungers attempting to migrate to Turkey, our stop was cancelled. A shame, yes, but the silver lining was an unexpected sea day. And what better way to console ourselves than with a deep dive into the breakfast options. First stop, the bistro, where breakfast is served buffet style with the added joy of barista coffees brought directly to your table. Then over to the marketplace, where the spread looks less like a ship's breakfast and more like the judge's table on MasterChef. Artfully stacked fruit, gleaming pastries, and cereals presented with the sort of precision usually reserved for surgical instruments. Given the day's only likely exercise was a vigorous raising of a fork, we nobly skipped lunch and went straight to afternoon tea, purely for research purposes, of course. Crystal's reputation in this department is formidable, and it would have been irresponsible of us not to test it thoroughly. Held in Palm Court, afternoon tea felt like stepping into Raffles or Claridge's, only one floating between Greece and Turkey. From our vantage point, safely behind glass, blissfully sheltered from the gales outside, the weather was perfect. Even better, our table by the window bathed us in lighting so flattering it was practically begging to be shared on social media. So we did. Our Mykonos plans may have been scuppered, thanks wind, but every cloud has a silver cutlery lining, and on Crystal that means food. We turned our enforced sea day into a full-scale culinary adventure, continuing with a warm-up round in Crystal Cove, slipping a sly 10 minutes at the Beefbar bar, and then settling in for an evening at what had swiftly become our most visited haunt, Beefbar itself. They're so proud of the place they even erected a display of beef outside the entrance. A meat manifest, if you will. Honestly, why isn't that already the name of a restaurant chain? Someone needs to trademark that quickly. The lunch here had been excellent, but the evening menu were where things got serious. Inexplicably, Helen kicked off with something mezcal-infused, which reminded me of Mrs. Hammond and her husband Jim in the old airplane movie. Helen never has a mezcal at home. I just hoped it wouldn't end up like Mrs. Hammond's next thought in the movie. You have to look that one up. It is. Try it, Helen. Try it.
Smoky.
Is it? What's it like, Helen? Is it good? Mezcal.
Very smoky.
Is it?
Tequila.
Oh my goodness.
So.
I'll need to nip to the gym because I'll be carrying her out tonight. Interestingly, the Kobe beef came with a price tag that reminded us of our time in actual Kobe, where for $25 we practically ate the cow's birth certificate alongside the steak. That vlog will be one to watch, I guarantee. Then came the headliners. Filet mignon and ribeye so good we briefly considered applying for a permanent residency on the ship. Suitably full of the finest beef, we rolled downhill into the Avenue Saloon, Crystal Symphony's moody little piano bar, all dark wood, low lighting, and armchairs that give you the distinct impression they've been waiting for your arrival since just after Frank Sinatra left. It's the ship's speakeasy, really. Proper cocktails, sing-alongs, and a pianist so charismatic he could probably charm the anchor off its chain. He took every request, turned it inside out and made it a special Avenue Saloon version. Naturally, we were hooked. From that night on, it was our regular.
It is all inclusive. You can have it if you want it. There we go. Thank you.
This was a new port for us, so we were up early and ashore straight after a quick breakfast in Marketplace. Our first stop was the beach next to the ship. Well, beach is perhaps a bit generous. It was more of a rocky patch of shoreline masquerading as Bondi, but the locals, well, they seemed to adore it. From there, a steep path zigzagged up the peninsula, delivering us to Muhammad Ali's Square. Naturally, we couldn't resist climbing even further into the old town until the heat staged an intervention, forcing us into a cafe for an iced tea for Helen and a cold beer for me.
Well, this is nice, isn't it?
Yes.
We've just found ourselves a lovely little cafe. It's called Chateau Specialty Coffee in the middle of Kavala. 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 That's what
Is that what she said? Kavala.
Pronounced Kavala.
Yeah, Kavala. We did ask. We asked a local, so we can make sure our pronunciation is correct. Because so many people pick up on our pronunciations and
Because we're not very good, basically. We've ordered a nice couple of cold drinks because it's steaming hot today.
Yeah.
Absolutely steaming hot, and it's going to get hotter. And just going to have a little bevy and tell you all about Kavala.
Kavala. Welcome to Kavala.
Thank you.
If Greek locations were guests at a dinner party, Athens would be the loud one telling epic stories. Santorini would be the flashy influencer taking selfies. And Kavala would be the quietly fascinating guest in the corner with a mysterious past, a twinkle in his eye, and surprisingly good taste in architecture.
Oh. Perched amphitheatrically around a brilliant blue bay on the northern Greece mainland. Did you like that word?
Well done for saying that.
Amphitheatrically.
First go as well. Well done.
Thank you. It's often dubbed the Azure City, which is far more poetic than its previous title, Christopolis, or City of Christ. That name came about because this is where the Apostle Paul first set foot on European soil, presumably saying, right, new continent, let's get this whole Christianity thing rolling.
Before all that, though, it was Neapolis, a vital stop for anyone heading to the ancient celebrity hotspot of Philippi.
Is it Philippi or Philippi?
Philippi?
Philippi. Maybe Philippi.
Who knows?
Hey,
Someone tell us
pronunciation.
how you say it.
Pronunciation fans.
The city is a glorious layer cake of history with a thick, satisfying Ottoman filling that left behind some magnificent structures.
Your first encounter with Kavala's grandeur will almost certainly be the Cameras, a colossal aqueduct that marches through the modern city like a Roman legion that forgot to stop. Built by Suleiman the Magnificent. That's a name, isn't it?
Yeah.
Fancy calling yourself the Magnificent.
Well, why not?
I think I'll try that.
Richard the Magnificent.
Richard the Magnificent. In the 16th century, it's an absurdly beautiful piece of plumbing, a testament to an era when even getting water from A to B was done with theatrical flair.
It's beautiful. But to get the full picture, you need to puff your way up to the old town, or Panagia, a delightful tangle of cobbled lanes and pastel-coloured houses clinging to a rocky peninsula.
It's all presided over by a Byzantine castle which offers the sort of views that make you want to write bad poetry. I'm good at that as well.
You are very good at bad poetry.
Or at least update your Instagram profile picture. Now, you're quite good at that.
Yes.
Yeah.
One each.
Yeah. Here you'll also find the Imaret, a sprawling Islamic complex built by Kavala-born Muhammad Ali of Egypt. Now, we've come across Muhammad Ali of Egypt before, haven't we? And I swear that was the Alabaster Mosque in Cairo. That was built by Muhammad Ali. absolutely sure of it, because he's a bit of a legend in Cairo.
Not the same Muhammad Ali that I know then.
What, the boxer?
Boxer. What is it? Float like a...
Float like a butterfly.
Sting like a bee.
Sting like a bee. I'm sure Muhammad Ali of Egypt also did that with his minions. Stung like a bee.
Yeah.
If he didn't get his way. But, despite all that, it's since been given a full 5-star treatment and is now a hotel so luxurious it would make a sultan reach for booking.com. And it's also so luxurious we couldn't get in for a drink, could we?
No.
Because it's residents only.
Yeah, we were hoping we'd be able to get in and have a look around, but you can't. You have to be a resident.
Yeah, so sorry viewers, we couldn't get the shots that we were after.
But modern Kavala hasn't simply rested on its historical laurels.
The waterfront buzzes with tavernas serving up fresh fish and locals engaging in the national sport of drinking tiny, tar-strength coffees for hours on end. If you've ever had a Greek coffee, or even a Turkish one, because they are very, very similar, aren't they? You'll know what we mean.
They're
In fact,
short, dark and intense.
very intense, yeah.
Sounds
I was
like
going
the
to
sort
say
of
like
man I want.
short, dark and intense.
Complete opposite to you.
You're saying I'm not intense? How dare you?
Revived, we ambled along the waterfront before surrendering to the lure of the Beefbar back on board. Lunch there never disappoints. Helen then claimed her spot on the open decks, while I sought refuge in our air-conditioned suite for a mandatory MacBook session. Videos, tragically, don't edit themselves. No, that's not my leg next to Helen's. It's not. I did some work. I did. That evening, we skipped cocktails, went straight to dinner in Waterside, eager to catch both the entertainment and the sunset. Post-dinner wander around the promenade deck led us to a sheltered nook at the stern, where the wind couldn't bother us and the sky put on a spectacular show. Afterwards, we ducked into the Starlight Club for some live jazz from the band. Slick, stylish, and with some superb solo performances from the resident band. The saxophonist in particular appeared to have discovered an extra lung somewhere. Breathe, man, breathe! Finally, a song and dance show in the theatre called Crystal on Broadway. Equally as energetic, but slightly less manic. Phew! A great end to another hot but brilliant day on board Crystal Symphony. We slipped into Istanbul just after lunch, marvelling at the beauty of this city from the water. We normally sail in under the cover of early dawn, so to witness this cityscape in full daylight was a real treat. Watching this unique approach, it felt like a good excuse to plant ourselves at the aft of Marketplace and demolish the Eastern Mediterranean buffet the chefs had laid out. Falafel, spanakopita, baklava, you name it, we grazed it. The baklava in particular was a minor miracle, crisp, sticky, and capable of making you forget you're on a ship rather than in a backstreet cafe somewhere in Karakoy. From our table we had front row seats as the captain coolly threaded Symphony into a space that could only be described as crystal-sized, neatly wedged between Seven Seas Splendour and Virgin's Resilient Lady. Istanbul's quayside looks like any other from above, but it's hiding a world-first secret. More on that later. Post-buffet, Helen floated off for a massage while I edited videos, this time managing more than just staring blankly at a timeline. By sunset, Palm Court was calling. We grabbed cocktails and gazed out over the Bosphorus, baffled at how few people had shown up. Seriously, where was everyone? The canapes were plentiful, beautifully made and delicious, and the view was so magnificent, I thought the captain should have put out a call, getting everyone up here. Meanwhile, Resilient Lady had already sashayed out to go clubbing elsewhere. Their loss, we had Istanbul for another full day. Dinner was at Osteria d'Ovidio, one of Crystal's much vaunted specialty restaurants, and our expectations were high. 2 complimentary specialty nights per cruise meant that this was night 1 and we were ready. Welcomed with glasses of blush pink Prosecco, our fabulous Italian waitress steered us through a newly refreshed menu that looked suspiciously like an edible love letter from Italy addressed just to us. I went for the full 4-act opera, tuna carpaccio, mozzarella ravioli, beef tartare, and a finale of chocolate hazelnut and coffee heaven. Helen's lineup featured plump langoustines, smoked butter pasta, sea bass, and a dessert that could be described as Nutella on toast if Nutella had been invented by Michelangelo. We both emerged declaring, without hesitation, that this was the finest Italian restaurant we have ever eaten in, land or sea. Yes, really. A nightcap in the Cove bar listening to Caleb on guitar wrapped things up nicely. Then it was off to bed. Tomorrow, Istanbul awaited, and it was due the full visit with us treatment.
Good evening, everybody. We've got all our stuff ready for dinner, haven't we? We just thought we'd recap the day.
We're sitting on our balcony overlooking Galataport,
Galataport,
which is bustling with people out on a lovely sunny Thursday evening in August.
And it's funny, it's a brand new port and it's all underground.
This is true, Richard. Istanbul has the world's first underground cruise terminal, Galataport, and it's actually a very clever piece of urban planning. Instead of dumping huge, ugly terminal buildings smack in the middle of one of the city's most historic waterfronts, they tucked the terminal facilities beneath the promenade. Customs halls, security, baggage belts, the lot. What you see above ground is a sparkling pedestrian boulevard of cafes, shops, and Bosphorus views. While below, passengers are quietly funneled through a subterranean warren that can process thousands without anyone above ever knowing about it. It's part architectural sleight of hand, part logistical wizardry, and wholly Istanbul, dramatic, inventive, and just a little bit show-offy. Now, back to the conversation.
So, Rich, tell us about Istanbul.
A little bit. Istanbul. A city that's had more names than a cat has had naps. And frankly, far more stories than most cities can boast of.
Speaking of boasting, it's the only metropolis in the world that drapes itself across 2 continents at once.
2 continents?
I know.
Wow. The Romans called it Byzantium, which sounds a bit like something you get from a chemist, doesn't it? Constantine renamed it after himself, as you probably would if you were an emperor. And the Ottomans gave us the Istanbul we know today. Thank you, Ottomans. They left behind a horizon pierced by domes and minarets of over 3,000 mosques.
Wow.
The Grand Bazaar, one of the world's largest covered markets, is a dizzying maze of 4,000 shops where you can haggle from everything from an exquisite carpet, a knockoff Rolex, or a rubber chicken. Strangely enough.
A rubber chicken. I didn't see any of them. I saw the other 2.
Knock-off Rolexes.
Yeah.
Could have bought a couple, actually, for the formal night. Getting completely disorientated here shouldn't be feared. It's actually a rite of passage. And believe me, is it disorientating, isn't it? It is a maze.
Yeah.
Absolute labyrinth.
All the lanes look the same.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah?
The Spice Bazaar, meanwhile, is so fragrant it could rouse a swooning Victorian lady from
A lady.
And then there are the cats, thousands of them. They generally run the place with an imperious air of creatures who know the city is theirs.
Seems to be most of Greece and Turkey, doesn't it, really?
Yeah.
I think it's owned by cats.
It's lots of cats.
When you're ready for something more cerebral, the Hagia Sophia awaits. Mosque, cathedral, museum, and now a mosque again. Each chapter leaving behind layers of breathtaking beauty. Across the square, the Blue Mosque flexes its 6 minarets in a city already brimming with architectural bravado. Overall, Istanbul doesn't do subtle though, does it?
But it's such a colourful, chaotic assault on the senses, Istanbul, isn't it, really? And finally, we must mention the Bosphorus.
Yeah, because we're floating on it
We
now,
are.
aren't we?
That wide, swaggering waterway slicing Istanbul neatly into Europe and Asia.
Its constant chop comes from a chaotic ballet, hulking container ships, zippy commuter ferries, sightseeing boats, fishing skiffs, and an ever-growing parade of cruise ships, hence the new terminal,
Yeah.
all elbowing through a current funneling Black Sea water south while the wind barrels in from whichever direction is most inconvenient. And it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
It literally swirls round.
I mean, there's guys fishing off the bridge and off of the side, and you're like, how are they fishing in that?
The result is a perpetually frothy slap against the quayside, ferry terminals that expertly showcase the art of slow-motion crash landing. I took some video of that. Yeah. And a waterfront promenade skirting what looks like the world's largest jacuzzi, albeit one you absolutely wouldn't lounge in with a cold beer. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is Istanbul. Well, a day in Istanbul. I mean, I'm sure there's lots of other things you can see, but we ran out of time. We're sailing tonight.
Well, we ran out of energy.
We did run out of energy. How far did we walk today?
Nearly 20,000 steps today.
Yeah, over 10k, didn't we? And what's the time now? Well, it's nearly time for our dinner. We're at the Beefbar tonight.
Yeah.
For the second time. Fabulous. Shall we go?
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Cheers.
By now, you're probably thinking we've given Beefbar more airtime than a primetime soap. But for a proper swan song, we simply had to squeeze in 3 more of their utterly irresistible creations. Purely for the sake of completeness, of course. That night's late sail away from Istanbul found us back on our balcony, almost midnight, watching the skyline shimmer. The city is every bit as spectacular in the dark as it is in the daylight, and we wrapped up our visit with just a little more awe. A sea day followed as we made our way towards Kusadasi, our final Turkish port. En route, we slipped under the world's longest suspension bridge, which boasts a central world record main span of 2,023 metres. Then we found ourselves in the Dardanelles Strait, a 38-mile stretch of water that spent most of its existence being fought over, sailed through, or sworn at by sailors battling its stubborn currents. This narrow ribbon of sea stitches together the Aegean and the Sea of Marmara. Its shores are a patchwork of fortresses and memorials, most famously tied to the Gallipoli campaign of World War I, a reminder that this postcard-perfect landscape has seen more than its fair share of decidedly un-postcard moments. Crystal, however, launched a rather different sort of campaign to make sure our clothes no longer fit. Their Viennese tea time was billed as afternoon tea, but turned out to be a chocolate-themed ambush of epic proportions. Resistance was futile. Thanks, Crystal. I'm now down to precisely 1 pair of trousers that still fit. Don't ever talk to me about willpower because, quite frankly, I know nothing about it. Our first shore excursion demanded an alarmingly early start, so we fortified ourselves with a coffee from the bistro before assembling in the Starlight Club to wait for our call. A half-hour scenic journey followed, and we rolled up to our first destination, the House of the Virgin Mary, arriving just ahead of the inevitable tour bus cavalry. Today was our lucky day. The day before was the date that is officially recognised as the date on which the Virgin Mary died, and there were a reported 40,000 pilgrims here paying respects. Oh my, this could have been a completely different visit. The tradition holds that after the crucifixion, the Apostle John, to whom Jesus had entrusted his mother's care, brought her here to live out her final days in peace and safety. While there is no definitive historical or archaeological proof, the paperwork, as it were, is a bit sketchy. The site has become a major pilgrimage destination for Christians and Muslims alike. The discovery of the house is an eccentric tale worthy of a novel. It all began in the 19th century with a German Roman Catholic nun, Anne Catherine Emmerich, who had a series of visions while bedridden. She described in astonishing detail a small stone house on a hill near Ephesus where Mary had lived. Decades later, a French priest, following her descriptions from a published book, stumbled upon a ruined building that matched the visions perfectly. The initial disbelief from the Vatican was understandable. It's not every day you get a spiritual GPS signal from a long-dead nun. But subsequent papal visits and a growing sense of reverence have solidified its status as a sacred site. Today, the House of the Virgin Mary is a serene and moving place. Visitors can walk through the single room where Mary is believed to have prayed and slept, and the atmosphere is one of quiet contemplation. We couldn't film or take pictures there, so you'd have to visit yourself. Outside, a wishing wall is a testament to the site's enduring appeal, covered in notes and prayers from people of all faiths. 3 fountains believed to possess healing properties add to the tranquil spiritual air. It's a place that asks you to put aside the need for hard facts and simply embrace the power of belief. making it a truly unique stop on any trip to the region. It was certainly my highlight of the voyage. Back on the bus and starting our descent into Ephesus, it got one wondering how Mary got her weekly shopping up here. It really was quite high, secluded, and definitely devoid of supermarket home delivery back then. Founded by Greeks, Ephesus truly hit its stride under the Romans, becoming a city of immense wealth and influence. It was home to the Temple of Artemis, one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world. But this was not some quaint provincial town. It was the second city of the Roman Empire, a bustling cosmopolitan superhub where commerce, culture, and religions collided. Ephesus was also a key player in early Christianity. It's thought the Gospel of John may have been penned within its walls. The city's hits are all here: the magnificent Library of Celsus, a glorious 2-story facade that took archaeologists 15 years to reassemble, and the Great Theatre, an absolute behemoth that still seats 24,000 people and hosts concerts even today. It's a place so vast and well-preserved, you'll wear out your sandals and your superlatives in equal measure. To call Ephesus merely a collection of ruins is like calling the internet a series of thick wires. It's technically true, but misses the sheer gobsmacking scale of the enterprise. Archaeologists have been here for over 150 years, and they're still not done, not by a long stretch. What you see today is just a fraction. Experts estimate that less than 20 to 25% of Ephesus has been uncovered, meaning 3/4 of this once 250,000 strong city is still snoozing under those layers of soil and silt. It's an active, evolving archaeological site, not a static museum piece. So as you wander its streets, remember you are only scratching the surface of a city that was, for a time, one of the most important places on Earth. Well, we only had a short while to stroll around Kusadasi, but it definitely looked like the kind of place that warranted more time. But not today! We were hot, hungry, and dizzy with anticipation for yet another pilgrimage. Tonight's culinary main event, Umi Uma, the much-loved and lauded Japanese fine dining experience. Let's be clear, this isn't just a restaurant, it's a destination. Crystal had the very first Nobu restaurant at sea, and the relationship is legendary. Your cruise fare includes 1 complimentary reservation here, a generous try before you get addicted policy. The space is minimalistic and chic, the service is almost telepathic, and the food, well, you have to come for the signature dishes. The legendary black cod in miso, a dish so perfectly conceived and executed, it should have a vlog, all of its own. Along with it, we had the lobster tacos, tiny electrifying explosions of flavour, lobster tempura with batter so airy it could qualify for a pilot's license. Then came the mushroom soup, poured dramatically from a teapot, and a tangy tuna tartare salad. Well, for mains, Helen had the black cod, and I went for the Wagyu beef with noodles, and I can't describe how tender the beef was. Okay, I will. Beef so tender it yielded to my fork as if it had been politely briefed beforehand. Each bite melted into silk, kissed by fire, and I briefly considered writing poetry about it. To finish, Helen went for the tiny trio of creme brulees, which, to be honest, was clearly designed for hobbits and not for me. So I, a proud but chronic chocoholic, assimilated my palate into the chocolate fondant, which sighed open at the touch of my spoon, releasing velvet darkness that utterly consumed me. This is one of the finest dining experiences afloat. Additional visits do require a surcharge, but for just $50 per head, it's worth every bloomin' penny. Still on a Umi Uma high, we waddled around the promenade deck to aid digestion before settling into the evening's show, a comedy act. And yes, he was actually funny. Rare, precious thing for cruise ship comedians, eh?
I looked from the deck above. It looked like a walrus colony. It was. You walk out.
Welcome to Rhodes.
Oh, thank you very much. It's lovely to be here. Today's focus, Helen, is on Rhodes' Old Town, which is where the ship docks.
Which is where we're sitting now.
Which is where we're sitting in a lovely little square. It's beautiful. There's cafes and shops all around. There's a lovely canopy of trees. There's a breeze. What more could you want from Rhodes on a hot summer's day? Anyway, did you know that Rhodes was a UNESCO World Heritage Site.
Oh,
It
no,
is
I didn't.
indeed. And it's less of a town, more of a colossal stone labyrinth designed by the Knights of St. John. My goodness, that's posh, isn't it? Who built the place to be impregnable, and wandering its cobbled alleys, you get the sense they succeeded. It's hardly a fortress anymore, though. There's like 40,000
It's been
cruise ship tourists.
invaded by tourists.
They would be turning in their graves. They really would. Seeing some of the people around here. Ooh.
To enter Rhodes Old Town is to take a rather aggressive step backwards in time. The whole affair is contained within a set of defensive walls so absurdly chunky, we're talking up to 12 metres thick in places.
12 metres?
You get the feeling that the Knights of St. John were expecting attack from just about anything.
Well, the city within these ramparts is a bewildering and brilliant maze of over 200 streets and alleys, many of which have no official name, presumably as a final defensive measure to thoroughly confuse any invading force, or as is more common today, tourists looking for a loo.
You can easily get lost up and down these streets. You have to use shops as markers.
You do.
Once you're navigating the polished cobblestones, you realise the Knights were big on social hierarchy. The town is cleaved into two distinct sections. First is the Colatium. I think that's how you say it. The northern part, which was the exclusive buttoned-up quarter for the knights themselves. Here you'll find the Street of the Knights, a startling preserved medieval boulevard lined with the stone inns where knights from different tongues or nations lodged.
I mean, it is a spectacular sight, isn't it? It's well preserved.
We saw the Spanish one. We saw the Inn of Spain,
Inn of
didn't we?
Spain.
And we saw the French one as well.
We did. I
Yeah.
mean, it is a beautiful, beautiful street. If you're here on a cruise, head up there first while it's quiet, because it is amazing.
Yeah.
It all culminates in the Palace of the Grand Master, not chess champion. A fortress so stern, it seems to be scowling at the souvenir shops, huddled at its feet. Fun fact, though, Helen, the original was largely obliterated in an 1856 explosion. So what you see here is a rather grandiose 1930s replica built by the Italians.
Well, I never.
I wish they had told us that.
No. Indeed.
I just want it to
Yeah.
stay as a Knights of St. John
Yeah.
castle.
Yeah.
But there you go. Can't have everything.
The second, more sprawling part is the Fora, where the regular folk, the Greeks, the Turks, the Jews, lived and worked and created a far more chaotic and vibrant hubbub that continues to this day.
A hubbub.
Hubbub.
Hubbub. It's definitely a hubbub around here today.
It's definitely a hubbub.
There's 4 ships in. We've got Holland America, the Oosterdam. We've got one of the latest ships from Virgin. Which one is it?
Resilient.
And Resilient. Got to be resilient today to the crowds, I'll tell you. And there's a beautiful little Azamara Pursuit. And of course, Crystal Symphony.
Yeah.
So it's a busy day.
It is busy.
The true magic of the old town, however, is that it's not a perfectly preserved relic that demands an entrance fee and the removal of your shoes.
Thank you.
That's
Have
okay.
a nice day.
And
And
you
you.
too. Thank you very much. Lovely. Thank you. Don't know what that was about. It's a living, breathing, laundry-hanging community of some 6,000 souls. Veer off the main tourist artery of Socrates Street, with its bustling bazaar of leather sandals, olive oil soaps, and T-shirts of questionable taste, and you can find yourself in a silent, sun-dappled alleyway with nothing but a sleeping cat and the scent of jasmine for company.
It's a place of fantastic historical and cultural variety. You'll find the elegant Mosque of Suleiman. Why do I always get the hard words to pronounce? Just a stone's throw from a Byzantine chapel, which is itself around the corner from a Swedish consulate.
Oh, I never. Oh. Score. And getting lost is not a risk, but a certainty, and indeed the entire point. You wander aimlessly till you stumble upon a hidden courtyard or a tiny taverna, eventually emerging, blinking into a familiar square, having no idea how you got there, but feeling terribly pleased you did.
The only thing I would add is bring your tourist dollar.
Bring your
There
tourist
is
dollar.
Lovely, lovely shops.
There
to
is. You
spend
bought
your
yourself a
money
bag
in.
today, haven't you?
I've got a leather bag. I couldn't resist.
You got a bag for very little euro.
There's some beautiful jewellery, some beautiful cottons and linens and clothes and
Make sure you bring your euros.
jewellery and china.
Indeed. Anyway, What are we going to do now? I think back to the ship for lunch, don't you?
I think it's time to head back. Yeah.
It is. It's getting hot.
It's getting very hot.
Getting busy.
Yeah.
And I can feel the Beefbar calling.
While our attention had been elsewhere, Crystal Plaza had quietly undergone its own Cinderella moment. The ship's elves, or possibly a very efficient crew, had worked their magic, and the place now looked positively ravishing, ready for Crystal's legendary white party. But first, unfinished business, the sushi bar at Umi Uma. Perched right at the counter, we had the best seats in the house for a live performance of slicing, dicing and rolling from 3 chefs who were equal parts samurai and sleight-of-hand magician. Having already used up our 2 complimentary specialty dining credits, dinner set us back $50 each. But with sushi this fresh and sake flowing like a mountain stream, it felt like a bargain. And it was. Take a look at these images. Oh, and we went for the Hobbit brulees and the chocolate souffle cake again. Don't judge. Suitably satisfied, we glided into the atrium and secured prime seats for the white party festivities, armed with white ladies, the party's signature cocktails, not a sudden influx of Edwardian debutants. By 11 o'clock, we'd admitted defeat and sloped off to bed, while the party showed no sign of tiring. Santorini. If you've ever glanced at a travel agent's window or scrolled through social media for more than, say, 30 seconds, you'd have seen it. It's the supermodel of the Greek islands, the one that got all the good genes. Officially known as Thera, what you're actually looking at is water-filled remains of an absolutely colossal volcanic tantrum that occurred around 1600 BC. This eruption was so biblically enormous, it not only sank most of the original island, but also created the steep-sided caldera you see today, which has been conveniently papered over with some of the most photogenic villages on Earth, like a careless Greek god spilled a giant tub of brilliant white paint and some royal blue icing down a 300-metre cliff. Main business here is conducted in the towns of Fira and Ia, which is where we're off to on today's excursion. But first we had a short drive to Akrotiri, basically the Bronze Age answer to Pompeii. About 3,600 years ago, Santorini, then called Thera, was going about its Minoan business when the island's volcano decided to cough up the Mediterranean's biggest eruption in recorded history. Cue island covered, civilization wiped out, and a dig site that still has archaeologists beaming like kids with metal detectors. The site today is extraordinary. You wander through roofed walkways over streets and squares where people lived in multi-storey houses, yes, proper apartment blocks, with storage jars taller than most tourists and fragments of frescoes that survived the fiery apocalypse. The ash preserved staircases, furniture, even drainage systems, giving us a vivid peek into how sophisticated the Minoans were. Just remember, this was 3,600 years ago. And then there's the mystery. Unlike Pompeii, no bodies were found. Did the residents have enough warning to pack up and scarper? Were they swallowed up by a tsunami afterwards? Well, no one's quite sure, which makes Akrotiri as much a historical whodunit as a dig site. It was an interesting stop and gave us a glimpse of a different side of Santorini than we'd seen before. But from there we headed from the south of the island all the way to the north to the village of Ia, somewhere we had wanted to visit for a long time. The year-round population of the whole island hovers around a modest 15,500, but in summer this swells to a number that feels scientifically impossible, creating a human density previously only seen in penguin colonies. This is what we experience today in Ia.
Welcome to Ia. As you can see, it's a quiet, quaint little fishing village on the northern tip of the island of Santorini. Obviously, it doesn't attract many visitors during the course of the year. Come to Ia, they said. Check out authentic Santorini, they said. Marvel at the beautiful blue-domed churches, they said. grab those world-beating Instagram shots, they said. Sooner or later we will find a view. Yes, an actual view. Or maybe not. Oh, there's one here. I think I can see one. I think I can see a view. Oh, a view completely unspoilt by humanity. We've got an hour here. It's been like queuing for a theme park. I think if we get to see one highlight before we have to start shuffling our way back, we'll be lucky. I'm sure we will. We'll be very lucky. But we're here. Let's make the most of it. Oh, and there's the church there. Look, if I hold this up, my 360 degrees will be able to show you the church. At the same time, Helen's got caught in traffic.
Famous for its sunsets, here is a place that launched 1,000 Instagram accounts. Located on the northern tip of the caldera, this is the postcard-perfect Santorini you've been dreaming of. The one with the whitewashed cave houses clinging precariously to the cliffs and those iconic blue-domed churches. The village is almost entirely a pedestrian zone, which is a blessing, as you'll struggle to get anything larger than your own shoes through the throngs of people anyway. Today was particularly bad because of the weather the day before, cancelling the daily hordes that tumble off the Greek ferries. It was too windy to get anyone in, so they just doubled up today. Nice. Normally, Ia has around 1,000 permanent residents and is a pretty maze of tiny winding alleyways, chic boutiques and galleries where you'll find everything from overpriced sandals to genuinely stunning works of art. But today it was like being part of a giant human centipede. Photo opportunities were thin on the ground, but we weren't about to give up, so we did manage to get a few. We imagine it to be completely different on a quiet day. Well, you win some, you lose some. It's all the same to me. And we've been looking forward to this a lot. Never mind. We'll just have to come back.
Look at that, I've managed to find a respite from the melee, and I can walk down the street with my camera in front of me. Isn't that great? Look, there's hardly anyone here now. I don't know what I was going on about earlier. I think Helen does though.
From the moment we stepped aboard, Crystal Symphony wrapped us in such a warm embrace, it's easy to see why everyone says the line is back to the very top of luxury cruising. Of course, no voyage is flawless. Some areas Crystal nails, others, well, competitors still edge ahead. Cuisine, though, is where Symphony shines brightest. Waterside is excellent. Only one other line, in our opinion, does its main dining room better. Afternoon tea is a genteel triumph, but serving scones with whipped cream instead of clotted remains a bit of a head-scratcher. Osteria de Video, hands down the best Italian restaurant we've had anywhere, land or sea. And Umi Uma, well, a knockout Japanese venue with a sushi bar so good, it's a photo finish with one other, just one other. Even the canapés deserve applause. Generous, creative, perfectly executed and seemingly endless, wherever you happen to sit. Our only dining quibble? Evening dinner is strictly indoors. The lighting flatters, the food dazzles, but sometimes you long for dessert with a sea breeze instead of aircon. Other things to note? Well, entertainment kept pace nicely from guest musicians to a slick resident band and rotating soloists. The lineup was solidly luxury standard. Not the absolute peak, but nowhere near cruise ship karaoke either. The weak spot? Excursions. Well, let me explain. With Regent, Viking and even River Lines offering at least one complimentary tour per port, Crystal does feel behind. That said, their excursions are extremely competitively priced. We booked 2 and they were both excellent value. The real magic, though, is the crew. Almost a 1-to-1 ratio, radiating warmth, attentiveness and an uncanny knack for anticipating what you need before you thought of it. They're truly what makes Symphony a symphony, not an overture. As for the ship herself, well, she's gorgeous, but not without quirks. Symphony wears her age gracefully, yet here and there a corner still whispers vintage. Many of these will be refreshed in the 2025 update, so enjoy the oddities while they last. Case in point, the Grand Atrium, featuring a single lonely Roman column. Just one, supporting nothing. Well, it'll be gone in November, but it's an amusing and baffling design choice everyone's forgotten the reason for. Maybe the architect was a Doctor Who fan. Then there's the curious side of Symphony's famously generous space ratio. Sometimes bars feel more anticipatory than atmospheric, as though everyone else is running fashionably late. But quirks aside, Symphony is a gem, light-filled, possessing a charm most cruise lines wished they'd retained, spacious yet intimate. It's less cruise ship, more grand hotel at sea, one where everyone remembers your name. Would we sail again? Absolutely. Crystal Symphony is understated elegance at its best. Thoughtful, refined, and warmly personal. If you've lasted the full hour, congratulations! You'll also love this too, and please don't forget to like, subscribe, ding that little bell, and leave us a comment. Thank you very much.